Michael Hyatt, Free to Focus, a total productivity system to achieve more by doing less. In the modern world, it is common to feel overwhelmed and constantly running out of time as we juggle various obligations. The book Free to Focus by Michael Hyatt offers a revolutionary perspective on productivity, emphasizing the importance of doing less to achieve more. This summary will provide you with key insights from the book, such as debunking myths about productivity, understanding the value of freedom and deep work, strategies to rejuvenate ourselves, and leading a more focused and efficient life. You'll also be introduced to concepts like pruning away non-essential tasks, the power of saying no, designing an ideal work week, and combating the distraction economy.
The true path to freedom. The modern work environment traps us in the myth of productivity. We often believe that working faster will provide relief, but this illusion only worsens our situation. We cram more into our schedules, work overtime, and experience chronic stress and mental fatigue. The key to achieving success and happiness isn't increasing productivity but attaining freedom. This includes the freedom to focus, indulging in uninterrupted deep work that brings results, and the freedom to do nothing, which is essential for creativity. We live in a world where our workdays are consumed by an endless stream of tasks. We attend meetings, give presentations, write reports, and tackle projects. Yet despite our best efforts, we find ourselves sinking beneath the mounting workload, like a leaky boat taking on water. The myth of productivity ensnares us, making us believe that working faster will save the day. Consequently, we seek out life hacks and shortcuts to gain more time. However, our quest for speed ironically diminishes our productivity. Rather than using the extra time judiciously, we stuff more into our overstuffed schedules. For instance, becoming quicker at daily emails leads us to prep tomorrow's emails earlier instead of allocating that spare time to something more essential. Furthermore, we start clocking overtime to conquer our tasks, convincing ourselves that this extra work is temporary. Notwithstanding, Jack Navison's research reveals that employees working over 55 hours a week are less productive than their counterparts working 50 or fewer hours due to stress and mental fatigue. Chasing productivity is unsustainable and inefficient. To flourish, we must instead target freedom. This entails the freedom to focus, granting ourselves the opportunity for deep and productive work. Although intense and draining, this form of work reaps the best results. Crucially, we also need the freedom to do nothing. While it seems counterintuitive, our most creative ideas transpire when we're at ease. By being productive during the workweek, we earn the liberty to enjoy our downtime, and this is when our imagination truly sparks. Power of rejuvenation. Overwhelming schedules often lead to cutting back on leisure and rest, but this impairs our emotional health and hinders productivity. Time is fixed while energy levels, focus, and willpower are finite, they need to be replenished. Rejuvenation, particularly in the form of sleep and maintaining social relationships, is essential for optimal efficiency. Besides, engaging in recreational activities or play can recharge mental batteries and boost productivity, making it a powerful tool in managing workloads. When workload surges and deadlines loom, people often sacrifice recreation or relaxation, canceling friendly dinners or clocking fewer hours of sleep. This approach not only hurts emotional health but also proves counterproductive. A common misconception is that time is flexible and energy levels are constant throughout the day, causing people to extend their workday in hopes of increased productivity. However, time is a fixed resource and energy levels, focus, and willpower are finite, demanding regular replenishment. To maximize focus and efficiency, we cannot afford to dismiss rejuvenation, which revitalizes our minds and bodies. Sleep, often misguidedly overlooked, is the cornerstone of productivity. According to David K. Randall in his book Dreamland, sleep deprivation exacerbates problem-solving, focus, and decision-making abilities. Similarly, Penelope A. Lewis's The Secret World of Sleep argues that sleep-deprived people tend to lack originality. Maintaining personal relationships, especially with family members, is another aspect often compromised in our quest for productivity. However, these relationships are of paramount importance for our emotional well-being and overall efficiency. Neglecting our loved ones can trigger adverse effects on energy, motivation, and mental health, further compromising productivity. Despite appearing counterproductive, embracing play is a potent productivity enhancement tool. Play encompasses recreational activities like hiking, painting, or even spending time with children at the park, anything pursued simply for enjoyment. Such activities help rejuvenate the mind, enabling a renewed focus on work tasks, proving that productivity and relaxation must coexist harmoniously. Pruning for productivity. To boost productivity, act like a gardener and prune non-essential tasks from your workday, focusing on tasks you are both passionate about and proficient in. Assess your passion and proficiency for each task, eliminate those with low scores in both areas, and delegate or outsource tasks where one of the scores is low. By concentrating on high-value tasks, you'll become more efficient and achieve greater work satisfaction. Productivity can be equated to the art of gardening. Just as a gardener prunes plants to foster their growth, you need to prune tasks to boost your efficiency. Surprisingly, doing less can make you more productive, provided you focus on the right things. This involves identifying key tasks and trimming away all the rest. To identify which tasks are essential, evaluate your passion and proficiency for each one. Passion measures your motivation towards specific tasks, while proficiency refers to your skills and the significance of a task in your work. Eliminate tasks with low scores in both passion and proficiency, and if you're in a management position, consider delegating such tasks to employees. For tasks you're proficient in but lack passion, think about pruning them as well. For instance, if managing your team's budget is successful but uninspiring, consider hiring an accountant or CFO if you're self-employed. However, tasks you're passionate about but less proficient in can be problematic. They make for easy distractions, but their low proficiency implies that they don't add value to your work. If you love web design but lack experience, you could get stuck on creating new pages when a dedicated web developer could complete them more efficiently. In conclusion, strike the perfect balance by focusing on tasks with high scores in both passion and proficiency. This approach ensures an enjoyable and high-value work experience while enhancing your productivity to levels you never thought possible. Mastering time with prioritization and rituals. Achieving high levels of productivity requires the discipline to prioritize and the implementation of rituals. Say no to unnecessary tasks and time-consuming requests, and recognize that every yes comes at the cost of a no. Develop rituals that structure your day, providing clarity in the morning and closure in the evening, resulting in maximum efficiency and minimal energy expenditure. We often hear about people who seem to achieve so much more than others in the same amount of time. How do they do it? The secret often lies in their ability to prioritize and manage their time effectively. Productive individuals wield the power of no, allowing them to focus on truly essential tasks while avoiding unnecessary distractions. Time is a zero-sum game, with only 168 hours available in a week. Understand that every time you say yes to a request or obligation, you're simultaneously saying no to something else. For example, agreeing to an early morning meeting inevitably means sacrificing your daily exercise routine. Being strict with your time involves recognizing the cost of each yes and taking control of your choices. If you have a personal commitment scheduled, don't be afraid to treat it like any other appointment when responding to requests. In addition to prioritization, rituals play a vital role in time management and productivity. Establishing routines throughout your week helps maintain a structured environment and ensures consistency. The clarity provided by these rituals allows you to focus on crucial goals in the morning and achieve closure at the end of the day, ensuring you recharge effectively for the next day's tasks. The true beauty of rituals is that they eventually become automatic, requiring minimal effort and willpower to execute. As a result, they can save you considerable time and energy in the long run. Rituals that are particularly beneficial include the morning ritual and the workday startup ritual. A morning ritual may consist of activities like making coffee, meditating, journaling, and reviewing the day's goals. A workday startup ritual, on the other hand, might involve catching up on emails, assessing your schedule, and informing colleagues about your availability. These rituals will vary depending on individual preferences and priorities. In conclusion, mastering productivity requires embracing the power of prioritization and incorporating rituals to structure your day. These practices will not only enhance efficiency but also promote a healthy work-life balance, setting you up for long-term success. Mastering productive days. To achieve meaningful productivity and focus, it's crucial to have direction. Planning your day around 3 priority tasks establishes clear targets. Designing your ideal week can further enhance productivity by allocating structured time for various tasks, appointments, and personal rejuvenation. Although every week may not follow this perfect plan, having a clear picture of your ideal week provides a target to strive for and a sense of accomplishment when achieved. Imagine walking into the office without a plan, passively reacting to whatever comes your way. This type of behavior sets you up for failure. After all, if you don't have a target in sight, how can you hit it? Meaningful productivity and focus require direction. To make the most of your day, plan it around 3 crucial tasks. These big 3 are your priorities, and accomplishing anything else is a bonus. Selecting only 3 tasks might seem limiting, but this approach forces you to prioritize your objectives, allowing you to zero in on what's truly important. In addition to planning your daily tasks, consider mapping out your ideal week to further supercharge your productivity. Start with a blank calendar, devoid of existing commitments, and imagine the perfect week. For instance, schedule all appointments on Mondays to avoid interruptions during the rest of the week, designate Fridays for team projects and client management, and allocate a few overtime hours on Wednesdays to address any backlog. Don't forget to incorporate plenty of time for rejuvenation, such as attending a yoga class on Thursdays or hiking on Saturdays. When crafting your ideal week, plan each day's activities. For example, allocate an hour each morning for learning a new skill or an hour after lunch for team catch-ups. It's important to keep in mind that your perfect week may not always be attainable due to unforeseen challenges and disruptions. However, having a clear image of your ideal week can instill a sense of purpose, providing you with a target to aim for and satisfaction in achieving it. Tackling the distraction economy. The distraction economy, fueled by technology and constant access to information, erodes our focus and concentration. To counter this, limit email checking, utilize do not disturb modes, try focus applications, and declutter your workspace. By consciously minimizing distractions, we can enhance our productivity and stay focused on important tasks. Our lives are intertwined with instant messaging, push notifications, web surfing, and the continuous scrolling on social media. These digital elements often creep into our days, stripping away our focus and concentration. Innumerable advantages have arisen from technology's integration into our personal and professional lives, but it has also opened the gateway to procrastination. This prevalent instant gratification culture has founded a new type of economy, the distraction economy. Phone calls, emails, social media, and news sites compete for our attention, making attention a valuable currency. However, these distractions, cloaked in speed and convenience, undermine our ability to focus and perform deep work. We often find ourselves wandering from task to task, unable to return to the initial job at hand. Researchers at the University of California discovered that an office worker interrupted takes an average of 23 minutes to return to the original task. With 5 interruptions per day, this amounts to over 2 hours of wasted time. So, how can we maintain our focus and concentration? To combat the distraction economy, make it easier to remain focused by checking your emails only twice daily, in the morning and after lunch. Utilize your phone's do not disturb mode to facilitate deep work. Consider trying focus applications, which let you customize software and website accessibility during specific windows of time. Lastly, declutter your workspace. A cluttered space significantly reduces information processing capacity due to visual stimuli, as revealed in a 2011 study by Princeton University. Tidy up your desk, organize your office space, and sort through your digital files. It's undeniably challenging to manage the distraction economy, but by acknowledging its impact on productivity and taking deliberate steps to mitigate its influence, we can successfully reclaim our focus.
The pursuit for ever-increasing productivity can leave us feeling burnt out and overwhelmed. However, as Michael Hyatt's Free to Focus brilliantly illustrates, productivity can be reimagined for improved efficiency, focus, and well-being. By applying his insights, including the freedom to focus on important tasks, understanding the need for rejuvenation, pruning away non-essential tasks, saying no, creating productive rituals, designing an ideal week, and defending against distractions, you will be better equipped to maximize your own productivity and lead a more balanced life. Dive into this intriguing summary and learn to achieve more by doing less.